besides informing people about the importance of plants on the trail with respect to sequestering carbon and other benefits, we've also tried to start educating folks about the connections between plants and animals. And so there were a number of informational signs that were put out with QR codes where people could learn more about some of the plants and the impacts that they might have. And so just in general, one of our goals this year was to really try to engage more folks in enjoying nature as it's found along the Kenwood Heritage Trail. So here are a few examples of things we've tried to highlight throughout the year. This awesome video was taken by Bill Halpin, and it shows butterflies, monarch butterflies, cruising around the milkweeds that were planted near the cemetery entrance. And this was actually part of a citizen science project where we worked with people all over the country to see if cutting back the milkweed would make it a better food source for monarchs. As you probably know, the entire North American population of monarch butterflies migrates south every year and then comes back north. So providing appropriate food and habitat for these insects is very important. We're also very interested in providing habitat for birds. So birds like the goldfinch, which are here year-round, subsist mainly on seeds. And so one thing that you may notice is that after flowers have bloomed and the seeds have formed, we don't do deadheading like you would in a garden, because those seeds provide food for these animals year-round. Other birds are dependent on different habitat. So for example, we're really fortunate to have a creek, Vine Creek, along the trail, and birds like ducks, of course, swim in the water and eat things that they find in little pools that develop along the creek. We're very fortunate to have a stream that is a living stream. Trees fall in, create little pools that are especially useful for animals like these ducks. Another great bird that we have along the trail is one you might not recognize. It also really depends on water as well as large trees and actually dead trees. This is a screech owl, and this is not my picture of the screech owl. They're hard to photograph. This is a Wikipedia picture. But screech owls are pretty common along the trail, and we hear them rather than see them. And I do have some nice recordings taken from just adjacent to the trail. So you might not be able to tell, but this is actually a pair of screech owls. So they mate for life. The male starts the song, and then the female chimes in at the end, and they sing kind of a coordinated song. They're most commonly heard spring and fall, early in the day or late in the day. And they're an awesome bird. It's a really wild sound. Screech owls can live up to 15 years, and they're year-round residents for us, and they'll come back and nest in the same place every year. So screech owls, that's a good reason to not necessarily take down all of the dead trees that we may have on the trail. If we have trees that are dead but are not endangering people, it's a good idea to leave them, because birds like woodpeckers and owls will nest in the cavities in those dead trees. And then finally, the last bird I want to talk about is another one that I don't have a good photograph of, but I have a recording for, and that is the wood thrush. So that's a wood thrush. Kind of an eerie flute-like call. Even with the freeway noise, you can hear it. And so the wood thrush is not the bird that we're actually looking at here. What I zoomed in on was a gnatcatcher, which is a different, also a very nice bird. But the thing about the wood thrush is that it's kind of the poster bird for loss of habitat. Wood thrushes migrate from South America every year, and their numbers are really on the decline. And they have complex habitat requirements. So wood thrush like areas with large trees, but they also like running water, and they feed on invertebrates that are in the understory. So they really require a complex forest with all the layers, and it's really awesome that we still have that on the Kenwood Heritage Trail, and it makes the areas, especially around the creek, something really worth trying to steward.